I first want to say I'm familiar with the Megabus because I purchased tickets online maybe about 6 times before. Okay, so I went online and I purchased it for my son, and he was going from South Carolina to Maryland. Well, you have to buy 2 tickets from South Carolina to D.C. and then from D.C. to Maryland. Okay, and so as soon as you purchase it online, you get a confirmation number, and I just texted it to my son, and I also wrote it down and handed it to him as a backup. Okay, and so when it was time to travel, we got in my car from where I am. I am in Denmark, South Carolina. Columbia is an hour away. So we got in my car and I GPSed Megabus in Columbia, South Carolina. And we arrived at, 1780 Sumter Street at 2:00. And the bus was scheduled to leave at 3. But the place was deserted. It was brightly lit, but it was deserted. And the doors were locked, and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what was going on. There were no signs, nothing. And so I called Megabus, and they had a recording that just kept going over and over saying, "Someone will be with you shortly." And so that didn't help. We drove around and we found this man who said it had moved, and he thought it had moved to Fairfax. Well, I didn't know what that was. And then he also said he thinks it might be with Greyhound. So I thought, well, okay, that makes sense. Let's go there. So I GPSed that. We got there at 3:00, but that was deserted. It was shut down. It was closed. So I still called Megabus again, in the same recording, just over and over. So by then it was too late because the bus leaves at 3, wherever it was. So because it's an hour to go home and an hour to come back, we got a motel room. And in the morning when I called Megabus and I explained the situation, and they said to me, "We moved a month ago." And I said, "Well, how was I supposed to know that? You have no signs on the doors, and all over the internet it says 1780 Sumter Street." And the person said to me, "Well, this is your fault because you were supposed to go on your email. And on the email, it would have said a different address." And I said, "Well, how was I supposed to know that? I've gotten tickets before, and all I did was use the confirmation number and left." So talking to that person was very difficult because their accent was so very heavy, and it was as if they were reading from a script. It was very fast. I kept having to say, slow down, what did you say?" So it was just a frustrating morning, frustrating. And she ended up saying to me, "Well, you can purchase the same tickets again for today, plus an additional $7 for the fee for me to do it online. I mean, over the phone." I was just floored. So my son had to be there. He had a doctor's appointment, so I went on and purchased another ticket for him to leave that day. I went over to the email, and there was the confirmation number that I had already had, and then it had an address under it. It was different from the Sumter.